Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is episode 588. 588 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. We're glad to be back. We're glad to talk about a lot of sports today, and we do have some things we're going to talk about, Mike. A couple of big stories going on around town, of course, is the Pittsburgh Pirates lose 10 in a row.
Ouch.
10 in a row, and we can't say we didn't call that.
No.
Also, I'm just seeing on the TV right now, they're talking about is Brandon Ayuk more valuable to the Steelers or to the 49ers? We're going to get into that a little bit more as the show goes on. Also, we have a very big name getting back into action here real soon. We'll talk all about that in today's show. How you doing today, Derpy?
I'm doing good. Got my coffee ready to go.
You're all set? Good.
That's what I like to hear. Derpy's fired up and ready to go.
How about you, Mike? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm fired up too. I'm ready to go. Nice little shower before the show. Reset the mind. I'm ready.
All right, good. Welcome back, everybody. Glad to see everybody back. Mike, I do want to start talking before we get started. Did anybody hear about this? Now, Derpy, are you a Star Wars guy? Do you like Star Wars?
Yes, sir, indeed.
Mike, you like Star Wars?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't, but I did find something that was very interesting that coming to Pittsburgh, it is a Star Wars burlesque show.
I'm there.
It's called The Empire Strips Back.
I'm there.
And I got about 10 different, I guess they're sponsoring the shit out of their ads on Facebook because for over the past 2 days, I must have seen 20 different ads. It didn't give a date, but it did say it's worldwide. These guys travel all over the place and do this. Empire Strips Back. Again, it's a Star Wars burlesque show. So if you're interested in that, you know what? I might be gaining interest in Star Wars because that doesn't sound too bad. I mean, if I have to sit around and watch Siths for 6 hours, that's different. But a burlesque show, I'm in.
Yeah, I am. I'm there. I'm all for that. Yeah, it combines two of my favorite things: Star Wars and attractive women dancing.
All right, there you go, Derpy. Burlesque, baby.
How much?
I don't
I'm
know.
ready.
I don't know.
I'm ready.
I'll let you know as soon as I find out. We'll pick you up that day. Derpy. No, speaking of that, spending time in Pittsburgh, I do want to talk to you a little bit today because you did make up to the game. We'll get to that here in a little bit as well. But also, I do want to say if you plan on getting up to the city this weekend to go see the Pirates or the Steelers, you might want to get up a little early because they do play at the same time on Saturday. The Pirates start at 6:40, the Steelers start at 7 o'clock. So, I mean, the stadiums are, a jump, a hop, skip, and a jump away from one another. I can imagine it being pretty packed. Of course, I imagine most of the people being at the Steeler game, nonetheless, there's going to be a lot. If it was a Paul Skeens day, that would be different.
Yeah.
But I think they'll do just fine. Paul Skeens will pitch tomorrow against the Seattle Mariners in game one of that series when they come home. But it will be, nonetheless, it'll be jam packed down there in the North Shore. If you do decide to head down on Saturday, so you might want to get down a little early.
Yeah, just
Uh,
just go to the Steeler game. Forget about the Pirates.
hey, good morning, Ron on the board. Ron says, "Thank God you shout." Ain't that the truth, Ron? I'll get to that in 1 second as well. And then
Ah,
also old Star Wars, but F Disney Star Wars. Okay, I can
I would
respect
agree,
that.
Ron. I would agree.
That seems to be the general consensus anyway. So, Mike, I'm at the studio getting ready for the show and finishing up the writing of the show. And Mike comes up the steps here at the studio, and he's like, "Did you ever have one of those shits that you have to get a shower as soon as you're done with?"
I just wanted to feel extra clean. I was
and
like,
then and then as soon as he said that, then you could smell like that. You could tell when somebody's in the shower, just that aroma that's going on through the air. And that's what I smelled. Sure enough, Mike did take a big shit downstairs at the studio, and he did have to shower afterwards. So
heck yeah, I
I
took a
just thought
nice,
everybody would want to
nice
know that.
cleansing shower,
All
man.
right.
Yeah, it helps reset the mind and the day. You're good to go.
But let's get started on some Steeler talk, guys. Pittsburgh Steelers, they wrapped up camp yesterday. There's 2 days. We got 2 days till the next Steeler football game. Bills are on their way to town. They may already be here. They're doing some joint practices with the Steelers. to finish up the week, and then they're going to go into their scrimmage game, their preseason game on Saturday at home against the Buffalo Bills. I think they were game 2 of the preseason last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Ron says Mike shat his drawers. I think he did too.
No,
And you know what? I think that was the word. I think that was the wording you actually even used. You said, have you ever I don't know, it was something like that. I think shit in your drawers was in there somewhere, and then jumping in the shower. But anyway, you get the point.
No, there was no soiling myself today.
Yeah, you said something like, "Do you ever feel like you'll shit yourself, and you got to take a shit, and it's one of the ones you got to jump in the shower."
It's what like you know sometimes you catch it and then you do the little waddle to the bathroom and then you're good to go. You do that waddle. You don't want to get in on your clothes. So technically, you did it. It did.
You certainly don't want to get it on your clothes.
Yeah, if it doesn't cross the booty cheek threshold, you technically didn't poop yourself.
I don't know what that means. What's the booty cheek threshold?
So like when your booty cheeks go over you part, you and you catch if you're gonna shark, you catch it right there. If it stays inside and it doesn't escape that,
like in your butthole.
Yeah, and if it comes out and you catch it like that in your cheeks, you can do the little waddle. Technically, you didn't poop yourself.
Oh wow! I tell you what, people are getting their money's
they
worth
come in
today.
for Steelers news and notes, and they're catching this topic.
Yeah,
they're like, "Why
I'll
are they
go
talking
back
about
to the poop hour?"
They're like, "No, why are they talking about the Cleveland Browns?" So that ends the Cleveland Browns segment of the program. Now we will get on track.
Ron, he is definitely not denying it. Ron says on the board,
I'm not denying
it.
It
couldn't have been pretty.
Like I said, it wasn't today that it happened.
That what happened? You just shit.
Yeah, but I didn't shit myself today.
Oh.
You get to that certain age, you
yes,
can't trust
Ron,
the fart
it is
anymore.
off the rails.
I think it is off the rails.
If I have to hear any more about Mike's inner asshole, I'm going to be very pissed. Let's keep talking about the Steelers, guys. Pittsburgh Steelers, yes, they do play the Buffalo Bills on Saturday. We got 2 days left. Mike, let me pull this up if I can. I do have some interesting news that I did get about the Steelers, about Brandon Ayuk. Of course, this is the big story. Everybody wants to know what the hell's going on with Ayuk. Well, this was the Steelers' response, to what they plan on doing with George Pickens, because it brings up a lot of questions. Well, what's going on with Pickens? You're going to be able to pay Pickens, next year. What's going to go on with him? This is what the Steelers' response was. Steelers plan on paying George Pickens. If the 49ers agree to trade, the Steelers will finalize a new multi-year contract for Ayuk, but no matter what the amount, it will not affect what the Steelers do with George Pickens, who becomes a free agent after the 2025 season. According to team sources, the Steelers consider picking Pickens their number one receiver and intend to pay him accordingly. Mike, if you want to talk about that for a moment, I just have a simple set issue right here. If you look at your screen, I'm going to jump on that if you want to respond, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, so that speaks volumes about what they're willing to pay Ayuk, if they're willing to also pay George Pickens on top of it. I think that's going to be interesting to see how they make that work. Two more or less guys who can be number one receivers. You're going to have to pay them both. And Derpy, we still don't have a long-term quarterback on the roster. Are they hoping to sign one of these guys cheap if they play well, or do you think they're going to go look for a quarterback in the draft and maybe strike a lightning in a bottle that way and have the team in place around them, kind of like how San Francisco had the team in place when they got lucky with Brock Purdy?
I think the draft is more likely than what we have right now.
Yeah, but isn't this class this year coming up supposed to be weaker than last year's class?
I believe so.
Yeah, because there's not that many top names coming out, but it's going to be interesting though. Like I'm to see how they're going to play it forward. But as a fan, I want all the best players they can get. Figure out the salary cap. I don't care, make it work. But as a podcaster and dealing with the Steelers, how are they going to make it work? That's the frustrating part to me, thinking that way, is how are they going to make it work? But the fan part of me wants to see it happen, because I would love to see that happen. If they can get both of those guys and then find a way to lock up Freiermuth, find a way to lock up Najee, you have a semblance of a nice nice offense because you still have Broderick Jones on his rookie contract. You have Fatano on a rookie contract and Zach Frazier on a rookie contract for a few years, and you got to strike lightning in a bottle now. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I want to know what type of money they have given to what they're going to give to Brandon Ayuk if they're willing to also pay George Pickens.
Tell you what, though, if they pay these two guys, we're going to be set for some time. You can't say that we wouldn't be one of the most elite receiving cores in the league with just those two guys alone. But as I said, Mike, to start the show off or to start the segment off, is he more valuable here or is he more valuable out there?
Oh,
That's
wow.
tough, Ryan.
Yeah, it's hard because I can make an argument for both. Because here, he would be, even though the Steelers want to say George would be the number one, Ayuk would be the number one here, and then that settles everything down the line. George goes to number two. You have a multiple of guys that go to three. That's going to open up the running game for Najee, and Jalen Warren's going to open up more room for Freiermuth and make these quarterbacks better. But then you can also say the same thing out in San Francisco. Yeah, he has Debo next to him. Yeah, but he has a better running back in McCaffrey, and the quarterback play on paper, looks to be better than what we have. So would he be a bigger loss there, or is him there helping Purdy more than if he wasn't there? So you can make an argument for both. For me, it's a toss up. But I think
I would like to see
I'm
Purdy.
leaning towards Pittsburgh. I'm leaning towards he would be more valuable here because we have a lot of younger guys right there. They have more veteran skill players.
Absolutely, they're just they're a better team. I would like to see what Brock Purdy would have done behind our line and with our offense the past couple years. I think you throw Brandon Ayuk into any team, it makes the team a lot better immediately. I think that Brandon Ayuk would be he'd be a bigger make a bigger impact for the Steelers because again he would make the team so much better. Mike, you mentioned Christian McCaffrey, you mentioned Debo Samuel, all these guys, they have a really good team, they have a really good offense, they have a really good direction they're already going. So I do think that he would be more valuable to the Steelers. Or I think that San Francisco, they're going to bring somebody in or they're going to fill that position and they're going to be just fine. Their offense runs just fine. I think if you pull Brandon Ayuk out of their offense, I don't see a huge difference. There's going to be a difference, of course.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it's going to be as big as a difference as it would be is if you would add Ayuk to the Steelers offense, the difference that would make.
Yeah, because I'm pulling up their depth chart real quick here. You take him out. They got some guys, but nothing great. Jawan Jennings, and then Ricky Parasol, who they drafted, would be behind them.
Didn't he get hurt?
People. He got hurt. He's questionable, so I'm assuming he'll be back sooner rather than later. But yeah, I think they would be fine out there. Whereas here, adding him to this offense takes it to the next level.
It's huge. It's huge. It makes us a competitor. It makes us a contender. Ron says we're not getting him. I'm still optimistic. I think we're going to get him. I think the fact that it's taking longer works to our advantage. I just do.
I don't know, like if San Francisco can get nervous and like, oh God, we're gonna miss out on this guy, or not even get maybe Pittsburgh's gonna change what they would offer us, and they just give him more money than what they were originally willing to do, just to have it over and done with.
But I mean, does he want to be there? The guy, I mean, it ultimately comes down to what he wants to do, and if he doesn't want to go back and play for San Francisco for another season, let him get the hell out of there.
He said like the places he wants to be is either San Fran or Pittsburgh. So
yeah,
and he already agreed to like the framework of a contract with the Steelers, and he's nowhere close with San Francisco. So
yeah,
who knows?
Another name that popped up, which came to my surprise, John Lynch apparently is infatuated with this player. This player might surprise you, but this player, Omar Khan, from what I read, refuses to part with, not for an entire trade, but part of a trade, Connor Hayward. I was just reading this morning. I guess John Lynch loves Connor Hayward. and would love for him to be a part of a package. But according to the article, it says Omar Khan refuses to part with Connor. I mean, if that's going to be the piece, I will give you the brothers. We'll give you the whole set.
Yeah, we'll give
Right.
you both. But no, I wouldn't be opposed to Connor Hayward going because he still have Fryermuth, Washington. You signed what, Michael Pruitt. He's getting up there in age, but nice depth piece to have. I'd be okay with Connor Hayward going if that's what it took.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like you can find another Connor Hayward in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't even think Connor Hayward's the best Connor Hayward out there. I think there's more people that's more talented at doing it what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, he's sound. He plays good fundamentals. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. But at the end of the day, I mean, there's going to be people that are far more skill wise better than Connor is, and
you're not going to miss the Connor Hayward production in this offense.
And Connor Hayward's basically playing this made up position at this point anyway. He's this utility guy. He's here. He's there. He's everywhere. But again, that's I read that this morning. I don't know the in depth on it, but I did read in these words. John Lynch is infatuated with Connor Hayward. So
if that would cause them to take a lower draft pick, hell yeah, we'll give you Connor Hayward. We'll give you Connor Hayward a third and a fifth. There you go. If you're that infatuated with them,
just the fact that it said infatuated,
or he probably like, hey, you know what? He's a good. We could find a way to use him here. Oh, he's infatuated now.
Right. Also, Mike, the Steelers, they signed defensive back Zion Gilbert and wide receiver TJ Luther. I think for some reason I think Zion Gilbert was in the XFL. It's not Gilbert from here in Aliquippa, but there was another Gilbert. And I think that might have been that Zion. He was a DB, but I'm sure these guys won't be on the team. In 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if you pull up the current roster, you could to about 3 guys figure out what the 53, I guess what 55 now is going to be. It's not very difficult. I pulled it up the other night. I thought, hey, we can do that on the show. And then I thought, you know what? It's basically the same exact team we had last year. Add your rookies, add a couple free agents. But it's pretty simple. Don't worry. You're not going to see Zion Gilbert or TJ Luther this coming season. I promise you.
No, those are guys. If anything, if they show out in these last couple practices and the last couple preseason games, sneak onto the practice squad. That's about it.
Get yourself a spot, play some good special teams, and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be playing spring football again, which there's nothing wrong with. I do like spring football.
Heck no.
But
Yeah. Nope. Get out there, get on tape, have different coaches take a look at you. Doesn't hurt for those guys.
Camp is over. Camp finished up yesterday, as we mentioned earlier, guys. Businesses report a major boost in the area up there, as always. They get all kind of people. Derpy probably stopped, went in town to buy a burger or a sandwich or a pop or something. Businesses reporting mad boosts up in the area of Latrobe. Good for them. And I got to tell you, Mike, this 2026 draft, talking about packed, talking about drawing, boosting the economy, that's going to be a lot of fun, man.
That is. I'm not going to go there, but I will. I'm willing to see what the hell happens because traffic's going to be a nightmare down there. I want to see how they pull it off.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, guys. Also, my couple things from the last game that the Steelers played, which was last Friday against the Texans. A couple side notes here. Beanie Bishop, after that game, Beanie Bishop Jr. loses first team reps after first game this week at camp/practice. So we're going to see how Beanie Bishop plays out. I know I was high on him last week. We were talking about the cornerback rookie out of West Virginia. He, from what I noticed, he did get burned a couple times, and a lot of people are saying, and of course, right here, this headline is that he loses first team reps after that game. So we'll see, Mike. We need that. I mean, that's an important position. We have to fill that position. We have half of a season to make sure we have a body in that position until we get Cam Sutton back from suspension. Mike, any thoughts on that CB3 position?
Even though he did kind of lose first team reps this week in practice, I think he'll eventually wind up being the starter there week 1. Because he was battling back in practice, had some first team reps. They were working a lot on him on one-on-one drills against receivers. They keep throwing him back out there. They want to see how he responds. And to me, they're not going to do that to someone that they're not high on or have expectations for. So my leaning is he'll be there, or it's got to be one of the other guys that's been playing that slot. But for me right now, I think Beanie might have the inside track because this is how hands on they are with him. You're not doing that with someone that you think's eventually going to be a starter down the road. You're doing that for someone you expect immediate playing time for.
Yeah, and I mean, our backs are kind of against the wall because if he doesn't work, let's say we put
Yeah.
that effort in that work and say, okay, well, this is going to be the guy, and we get there, and he gets burnt the first two plays of the game. We're down 14-0 because of Beanie Bishop. Then we're singing a whole new tune. So it's a very vital. They have to figure out what the hell's going on. They got a couple of weeks here to figure it out.
Mhm.
But our starter is out for half the season. Beanie Bishop, the guy that we thought was going to be the guy, didn't quite play well, but you know what? That was his very first game in the NFL. Keeping up with the speed of the game. We'll see how he looks against Buffalo. We'll see how he looks next week against Detroit and get a better feel. But that is, that's a big question mark heading into the regular season, Mike. Not only on offense with this receiver position, the slot corner, that's a big question mark too.
Yeah, that's a huge spot. And the other guy is Graylin Arnold, who has been around the league but really doesn't have a lot of experience. But those are the two guys that are going to be your nickel, Beanie Bishop and Graylin Arnold. So
where did Graylin Arnold come from?
Yeah.
Where's he?
He came over from the Texans. I know he played there.
About Graylin Arnold, he just got placed on the reserve injury list.
Uh-oh.
Because I saw that he was questionable. And
what's his injury?
I don't know, but they just said that.
Yeah, calf injury. So if that just came across the wire, that reserve injured, he's going to be he's done.
Yeah.
So yeah, it needs to be Beanie Bishop. Then I think after that is maybe Anthony Everett. So it's getting slim at the old nickel corner position.
Why would you have to stop the pass in the NFL? I can't imagine that'll be an issue.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we get that all squared away. Again, we got 2 days here. We'll be back at it on Saturday evening to figure out what the hell we're going to do moving forward at that spot. Also, Mike, from the game on Friday night against the Texans, Steelers Digest Player of the Week was Kyle Allen. And the other note that I did have, Kyle Allen, Beanie Bishop. Oh, and the Justin Fields botched snaps was the other issue at practice this week. So, I mean, we'll get a whole new story on Tuesday or on Saturday. We got the the presumed starter. He's going to be playing. Like you said, that Russell Wilson looked really good at practice recently. That's what you're hearing.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Like the reports are like every past couple practices have been on point, on time, where they need to be. He did like their 7 shots drill. Everything went perfect. Where everything was like every pass he had was a touchdown, and then the 11-on-11, everything was, like I said, on time and in stride for the receivers. Like the reports were saying he's looking close to mid-season form. Like he's ready to go week 1.
Beanie Bishop wasn't covering the guy that was getting all these good plays, was he?
No, I hopefully not, because I think Corey Trice has been getting first team reps as well.
Oh, why do I keep forgetting about Corey? I like
he
Corey.
Hasn't been playing. He's been filling in on the outside. With Dante Jackson's just a little banged up, but we'll let him rest up, and he's been filling in there, and he's been getting some good reviews too.
I like Corey Trice a lot. I thought he played real good last week.
I
didn't know if he was going to be playing on the nickel or not.
He had third round grades, fourth round grades on him, but the injuries knocked him down to 7th round pick. So there's a diamond in the rough. And, I don't know how Dante Jackson would do at nickel. If Corey Trice can hang on the outside when it comes to the nickel, you flip him outside, Dante on the inside. So there could be options there.
In the small dose that I did see Corey Trice last week, I thought he looked real good. However, you could tell that you have to see more of him.
Yeah.
He did make a nice tackle in the backfield. He did. He played good. He really did play a good game. But that's hard to go by, especially when, you are playing in your first preseason game. Also, Mike, before we do move on a little forward here, Brandon Ayuk on Antonio Brown. On Antonio Brown's Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter, sorry. Antonio Brown, AB says, Brandon Ayuk wants to be a Pittsburgh Steeler and will not accept any offer from the 49ers. Guy responds, it says, where's Juju going? And AB responds, who cares?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Who cares about Juju? He is banged up, and he couldn't make it on that bad New England team in that terrible wide receiver room. Yeah. He's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he can't make that roster, no.
Juju. So there you go. He's going to land somewhere. Hope it's not here. Ron says Field is having some same issues he had with the Bears. He locks it on one player and looks left and misses open players, especially on the right. I seen that a little bit too, Ron. Again, I'm willing to give him a little bit more some leeway here because it is early. You know, he just came over. It's a new start. I expect Russell Wilson to be starting on day one. I don't necessarily expect Justin Fields to be starting, but he's in a good position to learn and get better and improve his game in the meantime. And maybe, just maybe next year, he will be the guy, or moving forward, you're always one snap away from having, you know, season-ending injury in the NFL. So you just never know. There's things I like, there's things I didn't like, but I think that's why ultimately you have to go with your veteran. You have to go with the guy who's been there. You have to go with the guy who won a Super Bowl. You have to go with the guy who's going to walk into the Hall of Fame one day. I think that you're getting end of season Ben, which wasn't great. But again, the guy has it upstairs to where I think that gives him an advantage over the other player that he's competing against for the position. Yeah. And I think ultimately that's going to be what they decide to, you know, make Russell Wilson be the starter.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you summed it up perfectly right there. He will be the starter. And if given it, you know, Fields just has to learn, give him the actual chance to sit behind an actual veteran quarterback where he didn't have that in Chicago. Just see if there's anything left. If not, you know, we traded like a conditional 4th round pick for him. So this was a real high risk or high reward, low risk move, bringing both quarterbacks in.
I think Omar Khan traded him for a box of Mike and Ike's or some shit, didn't
he? So more or less, we turned like Chase Claypool, a conditional 4th round pick, into Joey Porter Jr. So.
Yeah. We love these
and
Bears.
A potential quarterback in field. So
like it.
Yeah.
Around the NFL a little bit, Mike, some news here. I do know that the Packers are eyeing Connor Lamb, or I mean CC Lamb. CC Lamb. Now CeeDee Lamb is a name that was projected to possibly be moved around in the Steelers trade with Brandon Ayuk in a three-team deal. And some people even said, you know what? CeeDee Lamb coming to Pittsburgh wouldn't be that bad. I do know, Mike, at this moment, the Packers are also eyeing CeeDee Lamb up, which I think gives them a big advantage in that NFC North, which is going to be pretty competitive between the Packers and the Lions. Some people even say the Bears. I have to see that to believe it, and I think the Vikings are down and out. But I think that you add a CeeDee Lamb to that Packers team, Mike. I think that goes a long way.
That would be huge. That team
would be huge for Jordan Love.
Oh, yeah. And that team is heading in the right direction, too. If Love can continue that progression, they already like Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson. I like those two as your receivers right there. And you add CD in there. That just makes that team dangerous. Josh Jacobs at running back. Get out of here. That's a good, excuse me, a damn good offense. And it's that division will be theirs for the taking. It'll be them and the Lions. Because like the Bears, you don't know, especially with a young rookie quarterback, and then the Vikings. What's going on over there? You lost.
Oh, I'm getting into that right now. Let's talk about. I want to talk about this NFC North for just a moment. So we'll start with over the weekend. Jordan Addison gets a DUI. He falls asleep.
Was it
whatever? It's not the point. It was within the past couple weeks. Okay. So he gets a DUI, falls asleep behind the wheel. Jordan Addison. Okay, that's shitty news. What's going to happen with him? Is it going to affect the Vikings? I don't know. But this also in their favor, and they're not in their favor, happens as well. Their rookie, of course, their rookie CB dies. They lost the cornerback, the rookie. Their starting wide receiver gets a DUI. Starting cornerback tears an ACL first day of practice. The other starting CB gets hurt second day of practice. in the first round. Rookie, of course, yesterday, the big story, J.J. McCarthy suffers a meniscus injury, and he looks to be done for the season. Minnesota, a team that, Mike, I think they were hoping to have a pretty good year, coming off a pretty decent year. You get rid of Hunter, you have these things going on. It doesn't look like they're going to have the year that they were hoping, like, especially as we were saying, if Green Bay and Detroit have the year that they're looking like they're going to have, it doesn't look like Minnesota's going to make the cut.
No, and we didn't even mention TJ Hawkinson, their tight end that they traded for from the Lions.
Yeah.
He's out with that knee injury. It could be anywhere between 3 to 7 games is what I'm reading that he'll be out to start the regular season. Jordan Addison was hurt in the joint practice yesterday against maybe the Browns, I think it was. I can't remember. But yeah, so that team fell apart fast.
They're cooked.
Kirk Cousins, who would have thought all the dominoes started when Cousins left, and then all the bad things happened.
Look at the Vikings quarterback misfortune over the past 8 years. In 2016, Teddy Bridgewater suffers a serious non-contact knee injury before the start of the regular season. In 2023, Kirk Cousins ruptures his Achilles in week 8. Yeah. And then here in 2024, first-round rookie J.J. McCarthy suffers his injury in the first preseason game that requires surgery and ends his season. I mean, come on, the Vikings, guys.
That's a cursed franchise right there. But undefeated go to into the playoffs. Gary Anderson missed the field goal, his first missed field goal all year long that year. That lost to the Steelers multiple times in the 70s. This team cannot catch a break. Or lost to the Steelers in the 70s, and they lost other chances to win Super Bowls. Yeah, this franchise is cursed.
That 15-1, the 15-1
yeah,
Minnesota
15-1,
team,
my bad. Yeah,
you're talking about from 97, 98. Was probably the best Vikings team I've seen in my life.
Oh, they had what? Dante Culpepper, Moss, Chris Carter.
Also, Mike, where did I lose? Oh, yeah, okay, so the New England Patriots, they traded Matthew Judon to the Atlanta Falcons for a third-round pick. So we just talked about the Atlanta Falcons a little bit, getting Kirk Cousins, and this Atlanta Falcons team just might run that NFC South.
They might. Judon didn't have like kind of production last year that he normally has, but
add him to all the other BS players that Atlanta's adding to that team. They have a pretty nice squad at the end of the day.
Yeah, they're going to be a tough first game. Like there's people in town that think it's going to be a cakewalk. I don't know, man. They got a good corner in AJ Terrell. They got players on that defense. And that offense, if Cousins can come back healthy and produce right away, they have a good team. Sneaky good.
I agree. I mean, they're going to be better than they were, and I thought they weren't that bad. I think there's going to be an improvement. I hope the Steelers could beat them in week 1. A couple other players that did move around a little bit yesterday, Mike, also in the NFC was your quarterback Tracy McSorley out of Penn State. He did go to the Washington Commanders. And my quarterback Nathan Peterman out of Pitt, he did go to the Raiders. So, I mean, there's a couple, they're not big quarterbacks, but they are names that you do recognize as backups. And they did find new homes over the past couple
I'm
days.
surprised Trace McSorley is still bouncing around the NFL.
That's what he is.
I thought
he's a bouncer.
He's a tough guy. Like he's a gamer. He's like, he was lucky at Penn State. He had a lot of talent around him. He had Saquon Barkley, Chris Godwin, Jesse James. He had talent around him. And he's parlayed it into a nice bouncing around on NFL backups and practice squads. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I still don't forgive him for throwing that interception in the first Penn State game.
Who was he facing? Nathan Peterman?
I think it might have been. Yeah,
these two, Mike. This is what these two guys are going to be. They're going to bounce. They're going to bounce. They're going to bounce until you don't hear about them anymore. But
I forget who the pick quarterback was then at that time, but that game pissed me off. Like we were driving for the win, he had Godwin right open and just underthrows him right to her defensive back. I was like, "You motherfucker!"
Let's talk over to the AFC for another moment here. I want to talk about the Browns, guys. I have a neat little list about the Browns. This is from Blonde's Perfect pre-CTE. account. They have a
He's trying to capitalize on the ABCTE account.
So here we go. A sexual predator quarterback, a convicted 2024 draft pick, 0-time AFC North champions, 38 starting quarterbacks since 1999, 4 winning seasons since 1999, 10 head coaches since 1999, a 0-16 season back in 2017, a shitty elf mascot, poop stain uniforms, and a burning river. I don't get the river thing, but everything else was pretty funny.
Yeah, the Cuyahoga River back in the day was so polluted it caught on fire.
Yeah.
So there you go. Well, because it was a response to the Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
It says just thinking about our orange pants, because apparently they're going with some orange pants.
Yeah.
And this was that was the response to that. So that was funny.
That was good. I saw that yesterday too. I thought that was great. That was it coming from even though it came from a Bengals fan account, still had to give tip of the cap to it, man. That was a good comment. I liked it.
Oh, absolutely, man. And then finally, if we want to do we want to rub it in a little bit more on the Cleveland Browns before we move forward?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So this is another chart I got, guys. This is 4th place division finishes since 2010. 4th place division finishes since 2010. Here we go, guys. With 0 4th place finishes since 2010, the Steelers, the Packers, and the Saints.
That's a surprise with the Saints. Sorry, nobody can jump in there, but that's a surprise.
That's a bad division. Plus, they were good for a while. So, I mean,
yeah,
I don't know if I'm
but
surprised.
Still, they were bad. They had some down years too. I thought, damn, they might have slipped in.
With 4th place division since 2010, the Ravens, the Patriots, the Cowboys, the Colts, and the Seahawks. With two 4th place finishes in their division since 2010, the Falcons, the Dolphins, and the Chiefs. With 3 4th place finishes since 2010, the Giants, the Raiders, the Vikings, the Eagles, the Rams, and the Texans. With 4 4th place finishes since 2010, the 49ers, the Bills, the Chargers, and the Titans. With 5 last place finishes since 2010, the Broncos, the Bengals, the Lions, and the Panthers. With 6 4th place finishes, the Bears, the Cardinals, and the Jaguars. With 7 4th place finishes, the Jets, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Washington Commanders. And the only team with 8 4th place finishes in the division in the NFL since 2010 was the Cleveland Browns.
So in 14 years, right? 14 seasons from 2010 to 2024, well, to 2023, actually. So in 13 seasons, they have had 8 last place finishes.
It's amazing how bad they are. I just love it.
And they have nerve to talk like they're great. You should be good by now. You've had that many the Patriots had, you said, like 1 or 2, and they won some Super Bowls in that time. Same thing with Tampa Bay. Same thing with the Chiefs. They had their 1 or 2 4th place finishes and then turn around and become successful. You've had multiple, and you,
Mike, I just can't believe how bad.
Their big achievement is, we beat the aging Steelers in a wild card playoff game.
That's because if we beat the Yankees, we're like, oh, look at us, we beat the Yankees.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they are the Pittsburgh Pirates.
It's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Let's move forward a little bit here, guys. Tomorrow, the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark are back in action after the month-long break for the All-Star game and then ultimately the Olympics. They are back in action tomorrow. The Fever host the Mercury tomorrow at 7:30. Also, if you're a Pitt Panther fan, the Pitt Panthers are back in 16 days in full action. Mike, they will be hosting Kent State at home. Hopefully the Pitt Panthers could handle Kent State.
Golden Flashes, baby. Coming in.
I tell you
what, don't underestimate the Flashes.
We're expecting better things this year. We brought that guy up, the offensive coordinator guy. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here at Pitt. I'm still kind of skeptical, but it should be a little better.
Yeah, like if my alma mater comes out of there with a victory,
and they're not.
I don't know how unbearable I would be.
Oh, one more. Oh, no. I don't. Yeah, I'll wait on that. Well, I was just gonna say, um, the other thing that I was going to talk about, guys, was this Duran, the guy that had the racial slur for Boston Red Sox the other day.
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently he called the fan a fucking faggot.
Yeah. Then he got the
Yeah.
award from AB.
Okay, hold on. Yeah. So he called the guy a fucking faggot. So he gets back to the game yesterday after his 2-game suspension. He gets a standing ovation from the Boston crowd. And to add insult to injury, his jersey sales, he had the most jersey sales ever recorded in a single day by a Major League Baseball player.
And the only reason people know about him is because what he said.
Absolutely. I don't know nothing. I still don't know anything about this
Yeah, me
guy.
either. Like I never even heard of this guy.
Most jersey sales ever
That's
recorded in a single day.
ridiculous. Like all the great stuff that we've seen, like great Boston Red Sox players do, are Yankees and Ichiro and Matsui and Shohei Ohtani, Paul Skeens now.
It's just kind of a
Is this what
surprise
does? Yeah,
that it's, I mean, Boston's a really liberal area. I
but
just kind of,
they vote liberal, but the people that are the N word and the F slur, their favorite words.
really?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't even make sense,
It does not. Boston is a weird area.
So,
Like they will call you all that, but apparently they will vote to protect you or something. I don't know. Boston's a weird town, man. It's a weird place.
also a couple other things here, Mike, in the majors. Uh, the MLBPA, the union,
Yep.
the union is suing the Pirates and Sheets. Apparently, of course, you remember about a month ago, they started wearing the Sheets patch on their right arm. This is what they say. They say the team can't use the image of 3 or more players in a marketing campaign for a uniform patch without a licensing agreement.
Huh.
Which, okay, if that's what if that's what if that's what teams do who put different patches on their shoulder, okay, that's what they got to do. But for one, why was that not addressed? Why do we not know this? Needs to be needs to be, they need a certain license. I mean, every team has something weird on their shoulder from a company. What's Mike? What am I missing about this Pirates and Sheets?
We didn't follow the correct protocol, which does not surprise me.
Is that what it is though? That's
Yeah.
we just didn't follow the protocol.
Yep, we didn't follow the protocol, so the union said, "Hey, you didn't follow what you're supposed to do, so we're gonna do what we need to do," and that's just Pirates right there. How bad can you be?
Oh, yeah. Speaking about the Pirates, Mike, they lose their 10th game in a row yesterday to the San Diego Padres. They went perfect 0 for 10 in the terrible 10 that we talked about. We nailed it right on the head. Mike, not only did they lose 10 in a row, they lost 12 of their last 13. Meanwhile, the San Diego Padres going in the opposite direction, win 19 of their last 22. That's the team that's going to be good. That's the team that's hit it at the right time. That's the team that's going to be in the playoffs. That's the team we wanted the Pirates to be. We said you have to get one of these long streaks if you plan on being it. Padres are doing exactly what it is they need to do. Padres are now 69 and 53. Meanwhile, the Bucks dropped to 56 and 64, who were above 500 before this terrible 10 streak came along. They got swept for their third straight series. Swept by the Padres, swept by the Dodgers, swept by the Padres. Now they come home to play. Now they come home to play a red-hot Seattle Mariners team tomorrow. But the Pirates did lose 8-2 in this game. They were out hit 10-8. Mitch Keller did pitch. He got 5 innings in, 8 hits, 8 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks. He lost to Martin Perez, who, of course, we just traded to the Padres a couple weeks ago. The hitters in this game, Mike, Joey Bart, who's on fire, him and Brian De La Cruz, they both get 2 hits in this game. Bart had a run, an RBI, also a home run. De La Cruz had a run. These players all had 1 hit. IKF, who also had an RBI. Mike Way Taylor, who had a walk. Grandel, who had a walk. And Triolo, they all have 1 hit in the finale against the Padres. Their very next game, Mike, will be Friday. Tomorrow night, they will be hosting the Seattle Mariners, who come in with a 63-58 record. Paul Skeens will be on the hill with a 6-2 record, a 2.25 ERA, and 115 strikeouts. He'll be facing Logan Gilbert, who's 7-8 with a 2.91 and 149 strikeouts. Mike, here's another guy that just has an amazing amount of strikeouts. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if we can't beat Logan Gilbert, then you read off his strikeout stats. I'm like, yeah, we're screwed.
You're
Martin
right.
Perez, we struck out 8 times to Martin freaking Perez.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of strikeouts, Mike, here you go. O'Neal Cruz is 4th in the league with 141 strikeouts. Or there's only 3 guys in the league that have more strikeouts.
That's unacceptable. I'm sorry. I know like a lot of Bucco fans are, you can't say anything bad about O'Neal Cruz, but that is unacceptable. He has what? How many strikeouts did you say?
142. 142.
Yeah. And only 18 home runs.
Yeah.
59 ribbies. No, you can't.
And you know what? Unfortunately, if you put somebody else in there, they're not going to produce even those kind of numbers that O'Neal Cruz puts up there with the 18 home runs.
And then he has 23 errors on top of it. Like, you're supposed to be a superstar, a generational talent. And this is what you're producing. No. Maybe if he was hitting like putting up Aaron Judge tight numbers, 45, 50 home runs a year, I'm like, okay, yeah, 142 strikeouts, but look how many home runs, how many ribbies he's getting out there. He's not even doing that, not even sound in the field. Let's
talk about a little bit more, some more successful play of the Pirates, Mike. This player here might surprise you, might not surprise you, but this is how the bats acquired at the trade deadline are doing with their new team. The top player, Danny Jansen for the Red Sox. He played 20 games. He has a 1.172 OPS. Good stuff. Let's go. Let's find where De La Cruz is on this list. Okay, not 2. No, the 3 is Jazz Chisholm. 4, Josh. Nope. Yep. Hold on, I'm still looking. OPS here. Okay, so in the games that Brian De La Cruz played since he's been here, he is, Mike, his OPS is 261. The other guy, again, that I mentioned, 1.172.
So, yeah, that's on base plus slugging percentage. That's not good.
He's at the very bottom of the list of players that were traded at the deadline.
Yeah.
We got the very worst player that we could have possibly got.
Yeah. Like, and his batting average is down to like 240 now. Like, what the hell happened? This guy came to Pittsburgh and completely forgets how to hit.
Tommy Pham in St. Louis is 892. Josh Bell out in Arizona, 975. Jazz Chisholm, 1.092. Those are the other 3 names that, popped up around the trade deadline. All doing great. Yeah. They've all played great since they've been there. Brian De La Cruz, the very last player on the list.
Like, you have to be able to say no to like your 30th prospect going out for Jazz Chisholm. You just got to say no at that point.
Right.
That was just too rich for our blood.
IKF is in the middle of the pack, Mike. He has a 796 OPS.
Yeah.
But he in fact is in the middle of the pack. And again, Brian De La Cruz at the very bottom. There's not a name lower than his on the list.
I think IKF is batting 285, so he still leads the team in batting. So
you know what? IKF is good. You're watching these games, you're thinking to yourself, I'm glad we got this guy.
Yeah.
And let me see. Baseball, Pirates, they got Seattle. All right, Mike. I think we have time for a little bit of fun.
Yes, we do.
I just want to. Okay, so Derpy, are you still with us?
Yes, sir.
Still there, Mike? Why don't you go ahead and start pulling up that picture that I'd sent over to you? We got some questions, Derpy.
All right.
Are you ready?
Right. So here we go.
I've
been pushing this off for a couple of days. We were busy at the beginning of the week, but this is something that I wanted to address, and here it is. All right, so there we go. I love this picture. I got to tell you. So let me paint the picture for you. Right to the left of Mike's head on our right, if you're looking at Mike straight on, there's a picture from Acrisure Stadium last Friday night. There's our Derpy on the right with Brian Pasquale, the host of One Man's Opinion on Sports with Brian Pasquale. They bumped into one another. My first question, Derpy, are those PJ pants?
Yes, they are PJ
Okay.
pants, but I
Okay.
couldn't resist them.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm not making fun. I'm respecting the fact that you are comfortable and confident enough to wear those out in public. I'm being dead serious. I wish I had the confidence in myself to wear them out in public because they are comfortable as all get out pajama pants are. So hell yeah, Derpy.
Well, okay, so
That's a win for Derpy.
That's not the only part. The second part of that question. Now, do those PJ pants, do they have footies on them? Or do you just have the bottom of the pants going over your shoes? Now, I don't know if I cut that off in the picture from the one that Mike has, or you can see it, but it literally, Derpy's pants goes over his shoes,
Yeah, they look like they go over his shoe.
Or he has footed pajama pants. Derpy, what's going on?
They were going over my shoes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Those
I was
long
hoping
pants.
if they were footed ones, that would have been. I'm being serious. That would be even better because
They
that
make
would
them
be
for
a whole
adults.
other level of confidence.
I got it at Boss Cops.
I like him. We're just busting your balls. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Don't
No, like I
don't
said,
take it the
Derpy,
wrong way.
being legit serious. I wish I had the confidence to wear because I want to wear them out in public. But I just can't wear them out in public. I love people who have that kind of confidence. So tip of the cap, Derpy.
Now,
Tip
look
of
at
the cap.
Derpy. He's confident as hell. I'm looking at this picture.
Look, I do like how he showed up with the panda mask on.
Yeah.
That is dedication to a bit right there. My guy is living the
Well, that's
gimmick.
what he looks like. That's his face. What are you talking about? But let me ask you: did things went well up at the game?
Yes.
Because from what I understand, this is your first in-house game. This was, you make it in from, from Eastern Ohio there, and you get your first chance to get down to Acroshore. How'd it go, man? Did you have a good time?
I had a great time. It was an unbelievable experience. I'll never forget it. Despite the loss, it was a great time. Every time they got the first down, we yelled first down.
Yeah.
It was the best experience I could have imagined.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you got to get down. I know you were excited. You got an overdose last week because you were at camp prior to that, and then a couple days later you came back and went to Acroshore Stadium for the preseason game. So I'm sure you had the time of your life, man.
I did.
All right, good. I had to ask you about them pants because I didn't know if they had PJ pants or if they had footies on the bottom or not.
Right.
Because that was my first guess. Mike, do you have any questions about the picture before we move on?
No. Okay. I'm just in awe of the pants. I wish I could wear the pants out in public. I just can't do it.
All right.
I'm jealous of Derpy. For once in my life, I am jealous of Derpy.
Well, I had to do it. It was my first game. I had to do it.
Hell yeah, all out, man! I like seeing that. I like seeing people go all out for the game, man. I remember the first time I took my oldest son to a Steeler game, and he had to paint his face half black and half yellow, and I thought, you know what, this is what it's about. Get up there, have fun.
Yeah, I see. I can't do that. So when I see people do that, I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm the guy that sits there and points at the guy and goes, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, and then Renegade came on. You got to experience that.
Yep, it was just chills, goosebumps.
Absolutely,
it was an amazing experience.
Absolutely.
See, Derpy, that's where I got to draw the line. I'm not a big Renegade fan.
Oh, because you're
not a big Renegade fan?
No, I was at one game and it came on live. It did nothing for me.
You know how like the electricity goes through the stadium and 30,000 people jump up and start waving their terrible towel?
I did not.
For some reason, that doesn't.
It didn't do it for me.
That doesn't.
Maybe if it was like a different song, maybe. I just think it's a soft song.
The better part was the beginning of though.
Yeah, that's the best part.
No, because they did the polka. They did the polka.
Oh, see, yeah. I can't stand the Steeler polka either. I'm a bad Steeler fan.
Mike, why don't you stop being a bad Steeler fan and be a good announcer for the website?
Actually, how about I be a good announcer and say thank you, Ron Navy, for the big donation. We appreciate it, Ron. Thank you very much. Then seemingly right into the website. We'll plug that as well. The2Yinzers.com. If you head on over there, check it out, guys. We got merchandise store over there. We got links to all of our social media, all the fun stuff over there. Got the blog over there, which will be up on Friday for a little preview of the Steelers preseason game. So check it out at The2Yinzers.com.
All right, gentlemen, here goes the question of the day.
Let's go.
Buffalo Bills question. It's who the Steelers have Saturday Let me get my head straight here. Saturday, they play the Buffalo Bills. Here is the question of the day, guys. Here we go. People on the board, play along and play at home. The Bills' legendary head coach, Marv Levy, led the Bills to 4 straight Super Bowls in the early 90s. My question for you guys is who did Marv Levy, who was he the head coach for before Buffalo? He did head coach for one team that wasn't successful. Bills' legendary head coach Marv Levy led the Bills to 4 straight Super Bowls in the 90s. Which team did Levy head coach for before Buffalo? Guys, take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube. We are currently working on the podcast to get that back up and running, but you could always catch us here every day. All right, guys, the question of the day is Buffalo Bills legendary head coach Marv Levy led the Bills to 4 straight Super Bowls in the early 90s. What team did he coach as the head coach for before Buffalo? Derpy, I'm going to start with you. Do you have any guesses? I'm looking for where Marv Levy coached before Buffalo, before he came and led the Bills to 4 straight Super Bowls.
I'm thinking the Bucks.
The Buccaneers? Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
All right, let me lock Derpy in on the Buccaneers. Mike, I'm going to come to you now. The Bills' legendary head coach Marv Levy led the Bills to 4 straight Super Bowls in the early 90s. Which team did Levy head coach before Buffalo? Derpy says the Buccaneers.
I have 2 teams popping in my head, and they're probably both wrong. KC and the Browns. I'm going to go with the Browns.
All right, so Casey or the Browns. He's picking the Browns. All right, guys, the question of the day, of course, Buffalo is who we play Saturday. This is the trivia. We're talking about the legendary head coach, Marv Levy. He led the Bills to 4 straight Super Bowls in the early 90s. Who was he the head coach for before he went to Buffalo? Ron on the board says Kansas City. Mike says Cleveland. Derpy says Tampa Bay. All different guesses. One of you guys are right. 2 of you guys are incorrect. Ron is correct. Kansas City.
Yep.
Ooh.
You had a hunch that it might have been KC.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember. I picture him on the sidelines. I know it like a white jacket. What was the trim? I couldn't think of the trim color.
I don't know. I didn't remember that. I didn't even know he coached there. I learned something new today. But Ron, you did nail it. He was the Kansas City Chiefs head coach before he went to Buffalo. Was not successful, but you all know the story when he got to Western New York, how things went then. I do want to say thank you. Yes, Ron, thank you. I was in the middle of a sentence. Mike started to thank you. I do want to say thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated, my friend. And I will happily have pizza for lunch with you and stop talking about the Cleveland Browns and Pittsburgh Pirates any day. That's no problem at all. Happily. With that being said, I do also want to say that I got my Caitlin Clark shirt on today because they are back in action tomorrow. I'm fired up about that. I need some more Caitlin Clark talk in my life, Mike.
You do. You have been tweaking for like almost a month by now. It feels like that you haven't had a chance to talk about.
I see that garbage USA basketball. So now I'm ready for Caitlin.
Hey, you know what? How could Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese have replaced Deanna Taurasi's 47 good jobs, 15 high fives, and 14 water cups filled? How could they have replaced that production?
Yeah. But they did win the gold, so good for them. Good for the men.
Yeah,
all bringing gold back home. It's always great to hear. Guys, before we start to wrap things up, Mike, do you have anything that you'd anything you want to talk about?
Can
you say no or yeah?
Can we end Brandon Ayuk watch? This is like the Yager watch back in the day.
I know.
I just wanted to end.
I hope that's the
one
day.
way or the other.
Right.
I love how the we got new information. No, it's the same information from someone else wording it differently. Come on.
Or you get the exact same word verbatim. It's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is brand new, and I literally read this 2 days ago.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I just wanted to be over because I know yesterday, Brandon Ayuk is at
At the
49ers practice
doorstep.
in team colors. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's still
Yeah.
technically a part of the team.
Right.
He hasn't done anything out of the been a caused a disruption in practice and stuff. He's been there before, so I thought it was like, okay, he's gonna sign. No, he was just there hanging out with the team.
Derpy, anything? Got anything before we roll?
Um,
You gonna let Mike?
football.
You gonna let Mike wear your PJ pants to the draft next year? Or in 26?
I might hook him up with some, but
Yeah.
no.
No, I want the ones that you wore to the stadium.
Yeah.
So you just hang them up. Don't wash them. Just hang them up, and I'll jump right in them.
Yeah. Ron, I'm right there with you on that last comment. My thing is this. I already mentioned the Star Wars burlesque show, The Empire Strips Back, at the top of the hour. My other thing, Mike, is this. I should be able to pull this up in just a second. Bear with me.
You got this. You can find it.
There we go. Famous Amos. You remember the cookies? Famous
Yeah.
Amos. Some of my
Yes,
favorite
I've seen this.
favorite chocolate chip cookies. As a matter of fact, I would take my lunch money when I was in school, and I wouldn't buy lunch. I would buy a thing of iced tea, and I would buy a bag of Famous Amos cookies every day, and that would be my lunch. Well, the guy, Wally Amos. Wally Amos was his name. He passed away at 88 years old.
Wow.
Famous Amos was a great American success story, a source black pride. His children very proud of him. He passed away. They said even with he had boundless optimism, was always in a good mood, always one of these just happy guys. The creator of the famous Amos cookies, Wally Amos, dies at 88 years old.
Oh, I never knew. Like, I thought it was like an invention of like an actual cookie company type thing, the Famous Amos. So did not realize it was a human being and that they were still alive.
Up, there's Amos. He's still in the back in the kitchen. Wow. He's carrying a tray, them little cookies around. So
that is awesome.
That is
awesome. Not awesome that he died, but the awesome story.
Yeah.
The hell yeah! I might go buy some. I might buy some Famous Amoses today.
That's what like I said, that was my lunch in school. Every day, a bag of them Famous Amoses.
Yeah.
I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We appreciate each and every one of you, as always. We wouldn't do it without you. Everybody on the board, I want to say thank you as well. You guys always keep things interesting here on the show. Mike, Derpy.
I got nothing, man, other than please let Brandon Ayuk watch end.
Yeah. Ron says Michael Shat in Derpy's PJs.
Hell yeah, I will.
See, that's why I want him to have feet. I want you to shit so where it goes all the way down in the feet. And that way, when he puts it on, it's just the whole way up his leg.
Yeah, yeah.
You feel that, Derpy? It's funny because when I said that, you know how on the screen you can see Derpy's eyes moving and sometimes his head moving.
Yeah,
like his eyebrows went up. Like he's like, "What the fuck?" So that's the plan. Draft 2026. Mike Derpy will be wearing your PJ footies. Just make sure that happens. All right, Derpy.
All right.
All right, guys. If that's it for you, that's it for me. Speak now, forever hold your peace.
This isn't referring to any, but Matt Milano.
Yeah.
He's out.
Oh, is he from where he was? Buffalo?
Buffalo. Yeah. All
right. Out indefinitely.
All right. That's for the week or that's for the season?
Season. I think.
Oh yeah. Wow.
All right. It could be. Yeah, he tore a muscle.
All right. So, guys, there you go. Buffalo coming up here in 2 days. We'll be back tomorrow for Friday, of course. We'll have a lot to talk about then. We'll get ready for the Steeler game over the weekend. We do have to do our picks tomorrow. We will also do over-unders, all those kind of fun things, getting ready for the Steelers and Buffalo Bills game. Also, tomorrow is Paul Skeens Day for the Pirates as they come home to play the Mariners. And Caitlin Clark in the Indiana Fever is back in action tomorrow against the Mercury. So a lot of things we're going to be going over, getting ready to head into the weekend. So I do want to say, everybody, you have a great day. Stay safe. We'll be back tomorrow first thing to do it all over again. Have a nice day.